we are all set to go.
Good to go?
Good to go.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
So,
Okay, I am Providence Councilwoman Joanne Ryan. I'd like to call the Committee on Finance regular meeting to order Tuesday, January 11th, 2022 at 5:32 p.m. Madam Clerk, could you kindly read the roll?
Chairwoman Ryan,
Present.
Vice Chairwoman Castillo. Councilman Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Anthony,
Present.
Councilman Taylor.
Here.
We have 4 present and 1 absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you kindly. Let the record reflect that we have Councilman Vargas has joined us. And
Noted.
we have Councilman Goncalves has joined us. Councilwoman Miller. Don't see any other council people. Also with us, I see Chief Mancini. Thank you very much for joining us, Chief. I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of the City Council. I'd like to extend our deepest condolences to you on your recent loss. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to you and all of your members for your kind expressions of sympathy. It's most appreciated by my family. Thank you.
Very good, sir. Deputy Majority Leader Harris, I believe, has joined us as well. Okay, so let's get started. Madam Clerk, could you kindly read item 1 into the record?
Resolution authorizing approval of the following contract award by the Board of Contract and Supply in accordance with Section 21-26A of the Code of Ordinances, R. Zappo Corporation, Department of Public Works.
Okay, who do we have? Before we start, I see our legal Ken Cheverini, solicitor, is with us. Thank you very much, Ken. I was looking for you. I was getting nervous, but I knew you weren't going to let us down.
I'm here.
Thank you, sir. So let's, who from the administration is here, or who is here to speak on this topic?
I am Chairwoman Craig Hockman.
Hi, Craig. How are you?
Hi there. I'm good. Thank you. How are you doing?
Wonderful. So please explain what we have before us this evening.
Sure. So this is a contract to repair sewers citywide. This is a result of our first deep dive into our sewer system, where we did some cleaning and investigative work. And these are the repairs that came from doing that to about 10 miles worth of sewer. This is going to yield about 4,600 feet of cured in place pipe. That's a technique where we can line a pipe from above and not have to do any excavation work. We've got another 340 feet that we're going to dig and replace. We're also going to use this opportunity to explore another mile or so of pipe and clean another mile of pipe in the vicinity of these repairs to try and take advantage of some of these pricing and the opportunities that we have while we're in the area. This is a base bid award of some $760,000. There's also a very large alternate which covers us in pretty much any scenario here, worth about $575,000.
Okay. Is this a pilot program?
We've only titled it pilot because this is the resultant repairs from the pilot investigation. Given the opportunity, I think I'd rename that.
Okay.
But no, I would not consider this a pilot. This is the first proactive sewer repair that we've had. In my time here, everything that we've done has been reactive. So we're trying to stop sinkholes before they appear on the street.
Well, that's a good thing, Craig, and I know you've been very busy, but to kind of put this into perspective for my committee members and my council colleagues who are on this meeting, could you share on, so this is 1.3, almost, we have 1.34 million. On how deep is the pool? I know we're talking about sewers here, but what more is needed to be done? I know that I think there's 3 million left in the CIP, they're currently working on, I know that in the mayor's opera dollars budget, I think there's another 3 million for sewers. So what are we talking about for? I know you said that this was the first proactive deep dive into our sewer issues. So why this amount? Why not more? And what does the other components entail? What's the big
Sure.
picture?
Sure. So we do have about 4.5 million of our $5 million sewer CIP and line item planned and obligated to other projects. One of those is a DEM consent agreement project that's mandated over on Irving and River Road. We've got another project to establish an access road so we can access our sewer that runs through the Butler Hospital woods and campus. We've had some sanitary sewer overflows there that have discharged directly to the Seekonk River. Both EPA and DEM are on us for that. So that's been a while in the making, and we just submitted our final paperwork to CRMC to get that started.
So is it safe to say that the CIP work is about the consent order? Is that complying with the consent order from DEM?
That's right. The majority of our CIP work goes towards satisfying the consent order with DEM. We also have an administrative order administered by the EPA for the sanitary side of our sewer. The DEM handles mostly the stormwater issues that we have. So you're right. After all these projects wrap, we're holding some on for contingency, but we're going to have about $500,000 remaining. And you're right. We do have a $3 million ARPA allocation. 500,000 of that has gone towards street sweeping, or will go towards street sweeping, which leaves us with a balance of 2.5. So 3 million total to program.
Is that enough?
That is not enough. We're crafting our
And
budget
that's-
right now.
I guess that's where I'm asking, how much is enough? How deep, how much money do we need to get our sewer system up to snuff?
So that's something we're working on right now, Chairwoman, and we're planning on submitting that to the administration in the coming days here by the end of the week. It's a large number. We've had other or previous estimates somewhere around 20 million.
Okay.
And that's just to mostly put a dent in those regulatory obligations that we have.
So what piece is this, the matter that's before us tonight, the 1.34 million? What role is this? Is this part of the consent? Is this part of the administrative order? Or is this an initiative to try to get our arms around our deteriorating sewer system?
It's addressing some of the administrative order, but it's also exercising some risk management here and saying that we do have problems with our sewer system. And while we have to meet our regulatory obligations, I think we also have to be pragmatic that, yes, we do have sinkholes that pop up. We do have sewer systems that don't function. And it's a health and welfare. It's a everyday life issue that we deal with. So yes, we are taking a multi-pronged approach here and satisfying some of those requirements while also taking care of the city priorities as well.
Do you have any more sewer plans for the next CIP round? Is there an allocation contemplated in the next CIP?
I don't know. I know there's been just very broad planning on it. We don't have specific projects yet because we don't have the funding to start planning for that. What I'd like to do is once that picture becomes clear and through this exercise of budgeting is to provide that number. And I'd like to give a 5 or 10 year plan to address what we have.
So I'm anxious to see those numbers whenever you can make them available to our auditor. I'd like to ask you to do that. I see Councilwoman Anthony's hand is up. Councilwoman Anthony, do you have a question?
I do. Thank you so much, Chairwoman. I just wanted to follow up a little more on the future problems we're going to have with our sewer lines, given the age of and the fact that they are failing in a number of places in the city. I mean, are you starting to budget for the personnel that we're going to be able to? Are you using? I mean, I'm worried about budgeting for personnel, equipment. How are we going to get ready for what's coming, which I think is an aging sewer system for the entire city that is failing rapidly now, and how are we planning to address those issues in terms of capacity?
Yeah, we're just starting to work internally on departmental budgets, and I'll certainly propose staffing and equipment. We've already started working with our sewer superintendent to start to identify some of these pieces of equipment and personnel needed. So that'll certainly be provided to Director Parada and hopefully up the chain of the administration.
Anyone else? Committee members? Council members? Councilman Vargas? You're on mute, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chairwoman. The question I have is, if we have these sewer lines that we have to maintain, how can we pay in the Narragansett Bay Commission to a sewer charge besides the water charge that we get? Because you get a charge per gallon of water, and then you get a charge, another charge for the same gallon of water on the sewer line. Is any way that the Narragansett Bay Commission can come into the pool and help us to maintain these lines? Is like I'm talking to the tree, or I'm talking to the wall, or is anything is a bigger fish that we have to catch, or how we can do this? Because it's everything is expense, and it's getting more expensive for the future. Like Councilwoman Helen was saying that are we prepared for the future? But I know that every year they raise the price. It's a price for this, a price for that, a price for this. Everything's is a price. So what we can do with this? Is there any
That's right.
solution that we can get, Craig?
Yeah, I wish I had a solution. Narragansett Bay Commission, who you pay your fee to, treats your wastewater. They also own about 10% of the sewer mains throughout the city, which leaves the city with the remaining 90%, about 400 miles of sewer main. What is the solution? How do we fund it? That is a great question. I don't think that's going to come from any one person. I think that's a group effort. It may be a political effort. We'd love to get a piece of the NBC collections, but I don't think they're really interested in sharing what they collect.
No.
So we've passed up a proposal to start looking at collecting a fee, if that's even reasonable, if that's allowed by state law. I don't know, but I think these are things that have to be considered both on the state level and municipal level, maybe perhaps even a regional level.
Thank you, Mr. Hotchkiss. Are you all set, Councilman Vargas? all
Which 10% they own?
They own what are called interceptors. So at the end of a line, at the end of a sewer run, they will pick up that collection and bring it to their wastewater treatment plant.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else? With that, I'd like to entertain a motion to recommend approval of this.
Second motion.
Motion made by Vice Chair Castillo, seconded by Councilman Taylor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Matter passes. Thank you very much. Craig, thank you very much for the work that you're doing. And I think that you could tell by the conversation that we had, the council is very concerned about the costs associated with our sewer system. People don't like to talk about it. It's not a sexy topic, but it's a critical topic, critical for us. And we need to focus on it. It's a critical infrastructure need. So we are going to be pressing ahead and focusing on it from a council perspective, and whatever you can do to help us get those numbers on so that we can make sure that we're putting a comprehensive plan together. I know we were a little off field tonight, but we had an opportunity to talk about the sewers. We're going to talk about it more, but the council is very interested in it. So thank you very much for the work that you do for the city.
Great. Thanks for having me, and thanks for your support.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Madam Clerk, could you kindly read item 2 into the record for us this evening?
Resolution authorizing approval of the following ratification of contract award by the Board of Contract and Supply in accordance with section 21-26A of the ordinances. Conduit
Okay.
State and Local Solutions Incorporated Police Department.
Thank you. Okay, first, if you're not speaking, if I could ask you to put yourself on mute so that we don't get any background distractions. I have been informed by the clerk that the commissioner who was called to present this evening was unavailable to present on this matter, explain it to the body, as well as the deputy commissioner. So absent their presence, I'm going to ask for a motion to continue from my
Taking a
vice chair.
motion.
Second,
Motion made by Vice Chair Castillo, seconded by Majority Leader Taylor. All in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. We've continued item 2. Madam Clerk, please read item 3 into the record.
Resolution authorizing approval of the following contract award to various vendors by the Board of Contract and Supply in accordance with Section 21-26A of the Code of Ordinances.
Great. Who do we have with us tonight from the Water Supply Board to present these items?
Good evening, Madam Chair and honorable members of the committee. David Tacoyan, Deputy General Manager. And I'm joined by Executive Director of Engineering, Peter LePage. Thank you for the opportunity to present before you. This is an emergency contract, blanket contract for 2 years.
Could I ask that you speak up? I'm having trouble hearing you.
Madam Chair, could you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I apologize.
No worries.
The committee. This is a blanket contract, 2-year blanket contract for emergency work. It's a $15 million contract that we renew every 2 years. And it's for emergency work that we would like to award to 9 vendors. And just for an example of what this contract would cover, about a year and a half ago, we had a 24-inch high pressure water main that was running under the Providence River that suffered a main break. We were losing pressure in the area. This was emergency work. This work totaled about $1.2, $1.5 million of work. That's one example. Another example would be this time last year on Budlong Road, we had a 42-inch transmission line with a belt joint clamp that suffered a fracture. We had to do that work, and that was close to $500,000 worth of work. So what this contract does is give us the availability to respond to emergency work within the distribution system and make those repairs in a timely fashion. And with that, I can entertain any questions the committee may have.
Committee members, any questions? Councilwoman Anthony.
Yes, thank you, Chairwoman Ryan. I just wanted to ask how you go about figuring out what the estimate should be. How do you estimate for emergencies? And then if those emergencies don't happen, what happens to the money that we are?
I asked the Director of Engineering that typically we budget every 2 years, $15 million for these repairs. And he just said that we exhausted those monies every year, but I'll let the Director of Engineering speak to that.
So we've been doing this for many years now, and we have a decent knowledge of what it would cost to repair a large transmission main, anything from 16 inches up to 66 inches. So what we do is we have this 2-year contract, and if we don't use that 15 million, then it just stays in our budget. And then once a contract is over in 2 years, we go out for another contract. So it's not to exceed 15 million. It doesn't mean we're going to get up to that, but it gives us that leeway if we have these large mains that have catastrophic breaks. We're able to address them and get them repaired quickly.
And may I just do a follow-up question? So how is that accounted for after the fact? Those funds?
After the fact?
I mean, after the 2 years has expired, either it goes into the general fund or whatever happens
Well,
to
it stays in the Providence water operating, not operating, but capital improvements fund and not infrastructure replacement fund.
And it's identified as such.
Yes.
Thank you.
All set, Councilwoman, your hand's still up. Okay, great. Anyone else? Committee members? Council members? Any further questions? So I have a question. I'm sorry, did someone else have a question?
Councilman Vargas?
Councilman Vargas, sorry, I didn't
Yes.
see. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
Please continue, Councilman Vargas.
Got a question. How much money we got left on your budget though? Like, if these 2 years are expired, how much money you got left from the last
Yeah.
2 years?
So our IFR budget is around 25 to 27 million a year. So what we had last year in the contract at the end, it was roughly 3 million left in the 15 million 2-year contract that we had.
So you asking for 15 million more, so will be 18 million total do you have for the next 2
No,
years?
no, it will only be 15 million. That 3 million that we didn't use in that last contract went back into the IFR fund.
Yeah, Councilman, we wouldn't ask for the 18 million, the 15 million is a reasonable number for us to do our work.
Right.
Sure, an emergency, so it's a not to exceed. We don't plan to exceed that. Last year, we had 3 million, so we used about 12 million over the last 2 years, so 2-year contract.
And this emergency happens because of the cold weather or because the pipes are getting old?
Combination of both, but the most expensive part is these transmission lines, which are large diameter lines that require a lot of work, and the parts to repair them are very expensive.
Okay, thank you very much for your work though. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
I have a question for you, gentlemen. Have you experienced any problems or claims that happen as a result of the lead replacement work? Are there any emergencies associated with that work? I know that there's a tremendous effort to try to replace as many lead supply lines on, both the private side and the public side as we can. Do we run into trouble with that? And if we do, could you help explain what that might be or look like?
So we, as you mentioned, Madam Chairman, we do have a lead replacement program, both private side and public side. And we have different sources. We use some Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank money. We have grant monies that we put towards it. And we also use money from our IFR program. We have dedicated money that goes directly to the lead replacement program. So, but then when we come across these emergencies, sometimes there are lead services that are in that area that we're working, and we'll put out a contract. We'll add that to the contract that we give to these companies that we have on this list. They're also able to replace lead lines where we need them replaced. So we do have various programs that we are trying to get the lead out as quick as possible.
We certainly take advantage of the opportunity to replace a lead service line if there's emergency work in that area.
You do.
We'll take advantage of that. Absolutely.
That's the question that's what I wanted to get at. So you're
Yeah.
proactive as you can. When you're in the area working on an emergency situation, you do what you can to get the lead
Right.
out. Okay.
Absolutely. Obviously, the focus is to get our customers back in service as soon as possible. But while that excavation is open, if there's lead there, we will absolutely be proactive and take it out.
Okay, and then the other side of the coin, does the private and the public work to de-lead cause any emergencies? Has that been a common occurrence? Does it happen? If so, how frequently does that happen?
I want to use the word emergency loosely. If the homeowner or the ratepayer replaces their lead service on the private side, I would say that's an emergency where we would get the public side replaced as soon as possible. So to mobilize a contractor to do that, if you want to use emergency, yes.
Okay, fair enough. Councilwoman Anthony, I see you have your hand raised.
Thank you. I have two really quick questions. One, can you remind me, are we mandated to replace all our lead pipes by a certain date? I'm so sorry. Are we mandated?
Mandated if the consumer replaces the private side, then there's a certain time frame. Peter, how much time do we have to?
Yeah, when the customer replaces their private side, we go in right away and replace within a 3-month period. We go in and replace the public side.
That would.
I'm sorry, are we mandated to replace the public side?
If the private side is completed, yes.
Okay. And then my other question is, when you do replace, so we've just had an extensive, replacement of pipes over on the east side in Ward 2. And I know we're going to be paving all the roads shortly to repair the roads. If somebody just contacts you after all that paving's done and a private residence wants to replace their lead connectors to their houses, do you have to dig up the street again?
No, so that's, going back to Chairwoman Ryan, if the road is exposed, we will replace, or we do replace the service from the main to the curb stop.
Okay,
Replace the private side would not require to dig up the road again.
perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good answer. Good question, Councilwoman. Thank you. Anyone else? Any other of my council colleagues, committee members, council? Oh, let the record reflect we've been joined by Councilwoman LaFortune.
Noted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Okay, with that, seeing there's no further discussion, may I entertain a motion to recommend approval? Councilwoman Castillo, Vice Chair Castillo, are you with me?
So moved.
Yes.
Motion made by Councilwoman Castillo, seconded by Councilwoman Anthony. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Okay, now it
Thank
goes
you.
to the full council for approval. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for all your hard work. We appreciate it. Keep getting the lead out.
We will. Thank
You have the council's full support.
Thank you.
Okay, and mine too.
Thank you.
All righty. Madam Clerk, could you kindly read item 4 into the record?
Resolution authorizing approval of the following change order number 6 contract award by the Board of Contract and Supply in accordance with section 21-26B4 of the Code of Ordinances, McMahon Associates, Department of Planning and Development.
Okay, who do we have on this topic from the administration?
Hi, Madam Chair, Martina Haggerty from Planning and Development.
Hello, Martina.
Hi, Madam Chair. I'm also here, Jess Lance with Martina's Special Projects team from the Planning Department.
Great. Anyone else? Do we have McMahon, anyone from the McMahon Associates with us as well?
No, we do not.
No, you're presenting for them. Okay.
Yes.
On this topic then, please explain what is before the Council Finance Committee this evening for consideration.
Sure. For consideration this evening, Madam Chair, is a $78,900 proposed contract amendment with McMahon Associates. This is a design and engineering contract with McMahon to improve a section of the Woonasquatucket River between Eagle Square to the area behind Providence Place Mall. The improvements included in this project include green infrastructure and landscaping to reduce polluted stormwater from discharging into the Woonasquatucket, native plantings to improve local habitat along the river, new seating areas, kayak launches, traffic calming, wayfinding signage for the greenway, and a new segment of shared use path along the river. This project has been under design since 2019, and during that time, through community engagement and engagements with some of our partner agencies and funding partners, such as RIDOT and DEM, various needs have emerged throughout the design process that the consultant team has had to respond to. This latest amendment is requested due to revisions requested to the 90% plans by the Rhode Island DOT, who is a funding partner in the design and construction of this project, as well as additional information requested by the city's fire department.
Okay. Anything further you'd like to offer? You good? Okay, committee members, anyone have any questions from our friends at the planning department? Jessica, are you new? Are you the new outreach person? Jessica?
I'm not.
You're
No,
not?
no, I'm
What
not.
is your role again? I'm sorry. I don't.
I'm a
believe I had-
principal planner.
Oh, okay.
I've been with the
thank you.
city for
I'm
about
sorry.
4 years now. That's okay.
Okay. I don't recall meeting you, but thank you. Anyone else? Any questions? Committee members, council members? Okay, so this is actually a change order. Correct, Martina?
Yes, this is a change order request.
This is the sixth change order. So you're basically 38% over the original contract that was awarded. And I think this goes back to, I see May of 2018. Is that correct? You said 19, but it looks like 18. Am I wrong?
Jess, do you know, I thought I had 29, the original award date that I have listed is May 4th, 2019.
Correct. That's the date I have as well.
I don't know what I was looking at that had 18 in there. May 14, 2018.
Oh, my apologies, Chairwoman. There was an error on the letter to the Board of Contract and Supply. May 4th, 2019 should read May 4th, 2018.
Okay,
It was
thank
a
you.
typo on that letter. I apologize.
Okay, no worries. So this has been around for a while. We're into our sixth change order. The council gets very concerned when we have change orders, as you know, and we want to see anything that goes over 20%. So that's far exceeded. I think at the fifth change order, we should have been looking at this. I'd like to ask our auditor, have you had an opportunity to review this?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No, I haven't had an opportunity to review it. But I do have concern that there was no backup paperwork for the change order. Usually when a department has a change order, there's backup for 78,000. You have to have some backup for that. I know you didn't just make up the number. So that wasn't included. And again, it is the sixth change order. The contract is over 3 years old now. I don't know if at some point maybe we should have rebid the contract. I have concerns of vendors just in general who potentially underbid and then come back with multiple change orders. Did you have any other vendors who bid on this project? Is it one project or is it added, or did you change the spec of the project?
This is one continuous project, and I completely understand the concern and the need for caution there. These have all of these change orders have been caused by requests from either the city itself or from DOT, who's also reviewing the plans, or from other agencies like DEM. And so they were not brought about by the consultant. They were brought about by requests from us or our funding partners for additional needs in the design.
But if you change the original specs, don't you think you should go back out to bid and give the opportunity to other vendors to possibly bid? I mean,
typically, perhaps if there were significant changes, ma'am, to the original scope of work, but these were really minor changes in the grand scheme of things of the scope of work. And it would have been costly, in our opinion, to bring on a different team than the team that's worked up to 90% at this point, has the AutoCAD plans and other things.
Who manages this? I'm sorry, Madam Auditor, are you done? Thank you. Good, very good points. Appreciate that. Who manages this contract? Is it you, Martina?
Jessica Lance, who's with us, is day-to-day project manager.
So basically, according to my calculations, the fifth change order was valued at almost 179,000. This one's at almost $80,000. So originally it was 1.1. We're and all of these change orders give a final contract amount not to exceed a certain amount, and it kept bumping up 38% over the amount. So I agree with the auditor. I'm concerned that this is continuing to increase. It's not good practice. City Solicitor, do you want to weigh in on this, the change orders, the number of change orders and the process that they've employed to somehow control this contract?
I don't know enough about it to comment. I mean, at blush, it does seem interesting and perhaps concerning, but you know, we usually defer to the director. But I mean, if you want me to take a look at it, I certainly will with the auditor.
Is time of the essence on this contract? What work is being done? Is there work being done now?
Madam Chair, the project is now
We
on.
have time to review this is what I'm asking you without causing much trouble.
Madam Chair, the project is now on pause until this amendment is contemplated and perhaps approved by the council.
Can you do any work through the winter months? Can you actually do work now?
Well, the work they're doing right now, this is engineering. And so to continue the engineering process to get us ready to bid for construction this summer, which is the goal. Yes, time is of the essence, but I understand the need for review.
Okay. All right, Madam Auditor, do you have another thought?
I just have one question. Martina, what are the terms of the original contract? 3 years is an awful long time. Was there any contingency in there for extending it without coming back to the board? Excuse me.
This is a very, I'll let Jess fill in the details, but it is a very complicated project with a lot of community engagement that had to happen. And so we expected it to take 2 to 3 years from the get-go.
Were there other bidders on this?
I'm sorry.
Were there other bidders? Did we get other
Originally-
bids on this project?
I believe so. Jess, do you know?
We did. I'm just pulling up the original award letter that was made because that would have that information. If you can give me one moment to find that. And I'm sorry, I don't actually have that information readily available. I'm trying to remember, we had at least 3 or 4 bidders that bid on the project originally in 2018.
Was this the lowest bid?
I believe so, yes.
Did anyone bid 38% over the original awarded bid?
I do not have those numbers in front of me. I can get them to you and I can get that answer to you.
Thank you. Madam Auditor?
I just 2 quick questions.
Yep.
Do you anticipate any more change orders on this contract?
There are none that we anticipate at the moment, but again, we have funding partners like DOT who could put in requests, you know, as we go this sort of final stretch from 90% to construction bidding. They could have additional requests that they aren't presenting to us at this time, but we certainly don't anticipate that.
Okay, and one final comment / question. Any of the other bidders from the original contract, would they have to have done change orders as well?
Yes, any of the additional bidder, they were all bidding on the same exact scope, and these were all unfortunately unforeseen circumstances, requests from funding partners or the city that we wouldn't have anticipated at that time. Otherwise, we would have included them in the original scope of work.
Sorry, one last question.
Go ahead. You said one last a little while ago.
Would you mind providing
Order
me?
to continue.
Would you mind providing me with each change order and exactly what this change order did from the original? Like did you expand on location? I don't even know what it entails, but did you add more?
Let's move to continue this matter. I'd like the solicitor to review it. It's the 6th change order. It's 38% over the original bid. There's clearly some movement. It's certainly an important project, I'm sure. And I know you've worked really, really hard on it. Let's just go through, let's take the time to cross our Ts and dot our Is and make sure we're not tripping up anywhere. And I'd also be, I've seen a lot of these change orders come through from the planning department. So I'd like to also request that you provide our auditor with a plan for managing the change order process to make sure that it isn't commonplace in what you're doing to control that. All right. I think that'll help button this up for everybody. Committee members, do you feel comfortable with that?
Yes.
If so, I'd like a motion, entertain a motion to continue this matter for further review by the auditor as well as the solicitor's office. May I have that motion?
Taking a motion.
Motion made by Vice Chair Castillo, seconded by. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Anthony. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Okay, so we're going to continue that. I thank you very much for your work. And again, I think that we just want to do a little homework at this point, and appreciate your working with the solicitor as well as the auditor to get this over the end line. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairwoman.
Okay, Madam Clerk, could you read item 5, please, into the record?
Communication from His Honor the Mayor dated November 16th, 2021, informing the honorable members of the City Council that pursuant to Sections 302B and 1009 of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980, as amended in Public Law, Chapters 45-50, Sections 1 through 31, passed in 1987, he is this day reappointing James Scott of 1246 Smith Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 02908, as a second alternate member of the Zoning Board of Review for a term to expire on January 31st, 2027, and respectfully submits the same for your approval.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
do you have the amendment in front of you that was with your paperwork?
I have what was posted. I do not have an amendment. Are we amending the address?
Yeah, it should be, with your packet, it should have been right on top. It's a letter.
Okay. I did not go home. I don't have my packet.
Okay.
I'm still at work.
Okay, so what is before us right now? His address right now is 1246 Smith Street, Providence, Rhode Island. We got a new letter stating his correct address, which would be 13 Carlton Street, Providence, 02908. So can we amend that from 1246 Smith Street to 13 Carlton Street?
Is it 02908?
Yep, it's 13 Carlton Street is 02908, yes.
Okay. So why don't we do that first? Thank you, Madam Chair. Did the committee get that amendment? I mean, it's just changing the address. So why don't, I'd like to entertain a motion to change the address from 1246 Smith Street to 13 Carlton Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 02908. Motion made by Vice Chair Castillo, seconded by Councilwoman Anthony. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. So we have an amended package before us, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All righty. Do we have Mr. Scott with us this evening?
I'm here, Chairwoman. Good to see you, and I'm glad to report that both addresses are in the 5th Ward.
Thank you very much. I've noted that, taken note of that, and as soon as I read it, I knew that there had to be an amendment in the wings. How is your new home?
It's great.
Everybody's happy and healthy there?
Which, yeah, we've been very lucky so far. So good to be in a good neighborhood.
Good. So, yes, Mr. Scott is in the mighty 5th Ward, and I know him very well. And he oftentimes, when I bump into him, he speaks about his work on the zoning board. And we all know how important this board is to the work of the city of Providence. So, first, I'd like to thank you for your commitment, your energy, your enthusiasm. I've received a number of ideas on how to do things better, how to make things more efficient. But without further ado, I think I'd like to invite Mr. Scott to talk about himself, talk about his experience, and just introduce yourself to committee members, council members who might not know you. and explain, you are a second alternate member of the zoning board, and this is a reappointment. So explain to us what the second alternate member is, and tell us a little bit about yourself and your interest in the board.
Absolutely, Chairwoman. So I was appointed to this position in 2019 by the mayor, and the second alternate does participate in all of the zoning board meetings. And, you know, it's a person that votes when people have to recuse for votes or for quorum purposes when somebody can't make a meeting. So I'm required to prepare just like everyone else on the board. Speaking to my professional background, I'm a career educator. I did spend a couple of years working in government for the city of Warwick. I have been a teacher, a school administrator, and I currently am the literacy coach at Councilman Vargas's alma mater, Central High School. So I wake up and I support the city during the day, and then one night a month I go and I support the city in a different way in the zoning board. It's an honor to serve in this capacity and to interpret the ordinance and the comp plan, and add on to some of the great work being done by city officials.
Great. Any questions from my committee members? Thoughts, concerns? Councilwoman Anthony.
I'd just like to thank you for your service. I too served as an alternate on the Zoning Board of Review. So I understand it's a lot of work, and I thank you so much. I'd just like to know why the interest in the Zoning Board of Review.
To me, I've always found, like, when I'm doing something for work, getting exposure doing something completely different just is a good source of ideas. And it's, I didn't know a ton when I first got on, but I tend to find the work interesting. I feel like you can do a lot of good. And it's generally, while some of the meetings can be rather long, you generally feel good about the outcomes of these meetings, and it protects the integrity of neighborhoods, and gives people opportunities to expand their businesses sometimes. And overall, I feel it's been a force for good in the city.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Committee members, council members? No further questions? Mr. Scott, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you very much for your service to the city of Providence. Not only have you distinguished yourself as an educator in our school system, in the Providence school system, your service on the zoning board is just really appreciated. And I also appreciate your work. He's also a member of the 5th Ward Committee. So he's a very busy man, and he has 2 children that he's always seen with in and about the ward. So thank you for that. With that,
thank you.
You obviously have my vote, Mr. Scott. May I have a motion? May I entertain a motion to recommend approval to the full council of Mr. Scott?
So move.
Motion made by Vice Chair Castillo, seconded by Councilwoman
Second.
Anthony.
As amended.
As amended. Good job. Thank you. Okay, motion made by Vice Chair Castillo, as amended, seconded by Councilwoman Anthony. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. The matter passes. Thank you again, Mr. Scott.
Thank you for your service, Councilwoman and colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Madam Clerk, could you read item 6 into the record?
Communication from His Honor the Mayor dated November 12th, 2021, informing the honorable members of City Council that pursuant to sections 302B and 1009 of the Providence Home Rule Charter of 1980, as amended in Public Law, Chapter 45-50, Sections 1 through 31, passed in 1987, he is this day reappointing Arthur Strother of 270 Willard Avenue, Providence, Rhode Island, 02907, as a member of the Zoning Board of Review for a term to expire on January 31st, 2027, and respectfully submits the same for your approval.
Wonderful. Thank you. Mr. Strother, are you with us this evening?
Here for Arthur Strother. Unmute yourself. anybody here to speak on behalf of, or is Arthur Struther here?
He's an attendee. Can
Yeah,
you,
he's
can you promote him?
trying to unmute there. I believe someone's trying to help him.
I see him on the attendee list.
Yeah, there's,
I believe his daughter is there to help,
yeah.
or Miss Geraldine, his wife.
Yeah, I can't unmute from here. She has to do it herself. Can you hear me?
I think I see an Arthur Struther. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful.
Okay.
We have liftoff.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Struther, welcome
Yes.
to the Finance Committee. We understand you're being reappointed by the Honorable Mayor, the City of Providence, for a term to expire January 31 of 2027. Tell us a little bit about yourself, sir, if you will, your interest in serving on the zoning board, why you do it, what your passion is, and why you want to continue.
Well, my passion is that I got appointed by the mayor and I got appointed by Mayor Paolino. That's quite some time ago. So I've been on the board for quite a while. And my passion is I like to make sure that people who are underserved in the city get a chance to turn around and make their views when they come to the zoning board. It's been a long. I've been born and raised in the city of Providence for quite a long time, and I love my city. I've served on Harold Metz's committee. I've served for the I've served a lot, and I just want to say that I really appreciate being appointed again by the mayor. So
Wonderful. Thank you.
thank you. You're welcome.
Council members, committee members, Councilwoman Anthony.
I'd just like to say I've had the pleasure of serving with Mr. Struther on the Zoning Board of Review, and he really believes in what he does, and he does a very good job of making sure that our underserved community is heard and respected and has a seat at the table. And I can't thank him for his service, and thank him enough for continuing his willingness to continue to serve.
Wonderful. Anyone else? Committee members, council members? Any other thoughts, questions, concerns for Mr. Struther? Mr. Struther, I would like to echo Councilwoman Anthony's remarks. Thank you for your service to the city of Providence. And the length of your service is it's exemplary. You know, some people feel as though, 4 years is good, 8 years is good, but you have a tremendous track record of service to the city of Providence. And that is absolutely commendable. City of Providence is better of your service, and we all thank you very much. With that, I would like to recommend, I'd like to ask for a motion to recommend approval. May I have that motion? Motion made by Vice Chair Castillo, seconded by?
Second.
Councilwoman Anthony, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Mr. Struther, you are approved by the Finance Committee. Your appointment will go to the full council for a vote, okay, at the next council meeting.
And I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you have a safe rest of the year.
Thank you so much. Same to you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Okay, I think we're done for the evening. I don't see any further business on the agenda. With that, may I ask for a motion to adjourn?
Taking a motion.
Motion made by Councilwoman
Second.
Vice Chair Castillo, seconded by Majority Leader Taylor. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you all.